Hi, this is Benandorf. Welcome back to another episode of Crusader Kings 2, The Old Gods. We last left off, we were in the midst of trying to figure out exactly how to deal with this succession crisis that was building up, with our young son being our current heir, and probably not a terrible one, but also one of my grandsons being a bit of an issue. Although he would be a pretty good heir, I'd rather keep all of my holdings in one poor heir than in many good ones. So, it looks like this grandson of mine might be not very long for the world. But start off going to create a vassal for that city, and let's get started. And welcome to the 10th century. Someone has just disappeared off into the Varangian Guard. We have an open counselor position. Let's see how many people here have joined this plot. Not enough. And it does not look like... just a little bit too much. It doesn't look like we will be able to get enough plotters to finish off this heir. So instead, those are not good odds. And he is in an unknown location, but probably in Constantinople, in all honesty, but I'm not sure that I can do anything about that. So what I'm going to do instead is save up some money and maybe get rid of this son here. But it looks like there's also another son here somewhere. This young lad. And he would be a little easier to get rid of, so I can at least start with that. First of all, I'm going to cancel this plot, see if I can just plot to get rid of this lad. And it looks like I will be able to, which will save me quite a bit of money. Which, when you're killing off grandsons, is, of course, the most important thing. You don't want to spend too much to wipe out chunks of your family. Familial love. Hasn't changed in hundreds of years. But now all these fine folks should join in. Yes, indeed. And that plot ought to be strong enough. So he shouldn't be long for this world. Another option would be to simply imprison. But I can't do that to... Well, perhaps the Varangian... Oh, wrong one. The Varangian Guard will return at some point pretty soon, and at which point I will be able to imprison him or otherwise get rid of him. It looks like the vassal levies raised too long. Penalty is slowly winding down. Let's see, we should go ahead and declare war and take some more land. So... Oh, I have a claim on these. Heck. Oh, well, no, never mind. I'm still in a truce. That's why I haven't been able to conquer them. And so it looks like we're kind of out of things to conquer in England for the moment. And our... here we go. That's a good target. Right across the... this river, the Elbe. Do I want subjugation or conquest? Sure, I'll go with subjugation. And must raise all these troops. But I shouldn't have too many problems with this war, and so I'm going to leave the troops in England where they're at. If I need to, I will call them in, but for the moment, I don't see the need. So raised all of those troops and sending them to group together, and once they're large enough, then they will move on and attack. And once they have a good general, of course. A plan has come from this plot. And a meaningless temple has been usurped. Whatever. Oof, we've been attacked in Holstein. And now the king is stressed. But we have successfully wiped out one of the potential successors. The issue here is, of course, to get rid of this particular problem. Or, honestly, at this point, it may be easier just to get rid of the sun. So I'll keep saving up money and just plan to do that. But anyways, moving around some generals. Ooh. Nupa has a huge increase deleting the center. So I'm going to sweep up to finish off this battle and then take the fight to the enemy. I'm grouping those up again. So soon we will have more land. Hooray! I know, don't I sound super excited? But now we will have some more of Germany or Western Poland. I'm not really sure where this would fall. I would think Eastern Germany. Oh my. East Francia has expanded, and Lotharingia has dispersed, as well as West Francia pretty much completely breaking down. So there's been a lot of change here. Next episode at the beginning, I will take another look at the world at large, since it is 900 now. But for now, we continue the siege. And popular customs in Oxford has increased. Let us see. Those are decent chances. And if we build a spy network, those chances go up. And we failed. Well, time to save up more money and try again. We have taken the chiefess, so we can't take her as a concubine yet. Too many older concubines. Oh, but I can set them aside, so I'm going to do that. They're old. I don't care for them anymore. Now, let's see. A young baroness. We'll take her. Who else? One I just took. Yeah, the wife of the man whose land I'm about to take. Pretty much adding insult to injury. She's a stutterer, but that's okay. And we get some prestige because she is a chiefess. She is the wife of a count. So you do, in fact, get some prestige from taking the right concubines. And one of my concubines is pregnant. So bad things may happen to her. I do not like having someone else with my concubine. I took her myself, so she is, by all Viking law, by right. So let's invite all these good folk to join in this plot and dispense with her forthwith. And looking through this list of people has reminded me that I really should check up again on our republic that we created. All these people will join in on the plot. Anyways, let's take a look. Republic trade zones. There are some trade posts now currently being constructed. So they're not there yet, but they will be soon. And lots of support for our plot. Now over 100%. And plenty more, so we'll bring them in as well. They like me and do not like her, so that is a good equation for lots of support. And pretty much everybody in my court is willing to join in, but I don't need all of them to help. It looks like we have surrender coming, but I would rather finish up the sieges and make some more money from it. So that's what I'm going to do. One of our vassals is returned with lots of gold and prestige from raiding. And another siege. That wasn't that much. Oof, some man is trying to jump from a tall building. This is a good time to improve our diplomacy. Let's talk to the man instead of grabbing him. Yay, he has agreed to come down with me. I'm going to assault. There we go. So now let there be peace. Oh, it would appear that he is still in charge. Well, that seems rather dumb. Regardless, going to send the seer to try and convert him. And let's do some looting. Hamburg seems like a good target. Even though East Francia is probably not someone we want to mess with too much, if we can just take a little bit of land, or a little bit of money, rather, it will be worthwhile. Ooh, a call to arms. I'll accept it. And that's why he was the son of, or the concubine was already pregnant. Oof. Well, we did not take advantage of our succession quickly enough, and so lost a big chunk of our land. So, welcome to the throne, King Tolier of Denmark. I can't imagine he's going to last very long. In fact, I would be okay if he did not, because that would mean that all of this land would pass on to his nephew, who is now the owner of a lot of our valuable land. So, yeah, that actually was a pretty crappy inheritance. And somebody's done the lower authority faction. That is unfortunate. Plus some independence factions. This is going to be this is not going to be a particularly good few years. But first things first, appointing better council members. Oof, nobody likes me. And I'm going to try and scheme here in, to start off here in Gwynedd. I will scheme to try and get this guy to stop backing that particular faction. Ugh. And going to disband this army for now. Who can I imprison? I suppose I can't imprison my heir because he has too much, or I don't have enough piety. This is not a very good situation. And not really worth setting up a betrothal yet. Ooh, independence faction is not going to be... It's not going to end well for me. So what I'm going to do is try something a little gamey. Well, I need to find one of these kings or emperors that has plenty of money and send an assassin at like his wife or something like that. If I'm discovered, he will hopefully send one back. Nope, I just successfully killed this man's wife for no reason. Well, on to his next wife. Yes, there we go. So they have found me. So please send assassins back. And we're trying to obligate the vassal so he will stop backing this plot. And he has done so. But we are still having some issues with all of these factions. Oof. Do not want to have to deal with them. So, going to appoint back this spy master, because I don't really have time to worry about the lower opinion there. And somebody wants us to lower the taxes on the city. I'm afraid I can't do... Well, no, I really can't do that, unfortunately. Oh, come on, King. Send some assassins my way. I'm going to take this priest prisoner, and let's see if any of these are worth ransoming. Not for 10 gold. No. Not worth it. Alright, so none of those prisoners are worth ransoming. But a trade post has now been built. Hooray. And... oof. Let's send another assassin. First, let's see. No, that won't really help. It'll just lower our piety. Princess who? Why should she have the throne? I don't much care for this half-sister of mine. And that's a faction that I will definitely fight. But the independence faction might be a problem. And one of our prisoners complaining about the state of the dungeons. If they weren't bad, they wouldn't be dungeons. And what to choose? I can either blackmail, obligate, or threaten. He's just, so I'm going to go with obligate. And he has promised to stop the conspiring, so time to move the spy master to the next place. Hopefully I will be able to keep most of these people out of the faction for long enough to drop the power. And for long enough that the short reign penalty will decrease. And the short reign penalty is very, very low right now. Fortunately, we can't drop any of these laws during a regency, or I would drop taxation down, or levies down to minimum, and thus increase both the troops I can raise and, of course, the actual income. But what I think I'm going to have to do is I created a Duchy of Mercia, which apparently I gave away all of the other duchies. So this fine fellow here, if I give him this duchy, well, he's not one of the ones that are interested. Let's see who else is. Shrewsbury, yeah, that's who I will give it to. And now he likes me and should be willing to drop out of that faction. Yep. Looking like it anyways. At the very least, he won't be able to raise all of those troops. And yet he still raised arms against me. What a jerk. So, looks like it's an independence war. So it is. Appointing Chancellor, Marshal, and Steward. Steward I will place to collect taxes here in Zealand, which is now our home base. And let us raise all the military we can. And then group them up together. Trying to sneak them around. Looks like we're not really having any problems here in Denmark itself, at least. So, you know, thank goodness for small miracles. But I'm moving all of these troops together. And someone has been... Oof. The seer has been imprisoned. What a jerk. Oh well, I'll replace him. Oh, never mind. That's who we just had raise arms against us. Ugh. Unfortunately, the Independence faction has just gained a large amount of extra troops, so that's rather negative. But we have made some progress here in Ireland, which, to that note... Oh, nope, you're not going there. I accidentally pulled some from Great Britain proper. And I'm going to start sieging. Just get some of these guys out of the war as quickly as possible. My sister needs a new guardian. So this one seems as good a choice as any. Oh, we're losing some land up there too. Oof. Alright, this isn't quite as straightforward as I was thinking it is. But we should still have relatively passable time. Although we're going to lose these troops here in England, it looks like. Once we group all of our armies together, we should be able to successfully beat back these traitors. But it might be a long and expensive war. We've been attacked here in Wales, and even the extra hills will not be enough to keep us alive, just enough to sort of lengthen the battle and do a little more damage. Well, that wasn't a terrible loss. This next one probably will be, though. So I'm going to move this army down and try and hit the Mercian troops. The troops of Mercia. I don't know how you would... what the adjective would be for that. But I'm assigning some new generals. And going to move into Altmark, which we just took, but such is life. Short battle in Altmark. And why are these at war with us? Probably because we raided them not very long ago, but still. I thought it had been longer than that. Regardless, continuing the sieges here in Ireland, which we had a useful... Oh, our heir, who is trying to take some land of his own. So that's nice at least. Maybe we will get a little bit more land while we're busy trying to fight this war to keep what we already have. It's always nice when vassals take it on to themselves to conquer some more land for us. And we've attacked the enemy in Urabi. And we really should have assigned some generals. I did not even realize there weren't any. Oh. This young kid is now ill. Maybe he will pass and we will move on to the better heir. One can only hope. But assigning some more generals. I'm going to try and chase down this army into Shrewsbury for what little that will be worth. Having quite a bit of success here in Ireland, at least. One in Shrewsbury, so I'm going to keep on chasing. Again, not a real big point to it, but it makes me feel a little better. So if that's not of value, I don't know what is. Oh, that's why we're at war with them, because they are at war with... Altmark is at war with Saxony. And so, since we both want the same land, we are both at war. But continuing to chase the troops from Mercia. Attacked the enemy in Warwick and having some success. And another annoying plot. We'll deal with those when this war is over. Once again, continuing to chase the armies in England. And should be almost done up here in Ireland. And there we go, finally wiped those out. Unfortunately, not a lot this army can do, so I'm just going to pull them back and wait for reinforcements from Ireland. We have taken captive a 2-year-old girl, because that's what Vikings do. And now to siege down the city, and then I will move on to the next part of Ireland. More plots, and nobody's willing to give up their plots at this point. Lubbock's under siege, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. Not to me at the moment anyways. So we are making some progress. The enemy troops don't stand a huge chance against us. It's just a matter of time at this point. Lubbock's attempted to be under siege, but we are going to lose a little bit of land here in Wales, but we'll take it back. And we finished up in England. Well, let's assign another general. Or not in England, rather we finished up here in Ireland. And took another young boy captive. Oh, this one's 15. He's not that young, at least. But moving into another part of Ireland, quickly crushing the enemy troops, and now just a siege. Failed sally by the defender. Oof, we did lose some land here in Wales. And another one of our holdings in Sweden is under siege. Success in Altmark. 2 down, 1 to go. And then this army will move up and take here in Elfheimer, maybe? Yeah, going to lose this bit of Wales, but I will take it back when I finish up in Ireland. Success in Altmark, so finished that up. So on to Elfmere. And our heir / nephew has taken someone siege. Probably, yeah, over here in Holland. That is nice of him to take some of that land for us. It will save us from having to do it and bring in some extra money, even if it does make him a little bit stronger, and thus a potential threat. And unfortunately, our king has survived his illness. We may be stuck with him. But another plot to fabricate claims here or there. And we're holding an Altmark's under siege already, which is rather annoying. So I guess I have to send these troops back. Taken a concubine of Tyrannosael as our captive. And the first and longest siege is done there, so soon we'll be able to move our retinue from Ireland over to Wales and England and work on finishing this war. And now we need someone to educate us. So let us see who is the best to do that. I'd like a good mix of different stats. And of course has to be Norse. Preferably a very high level of education too. But we are Vikings, so let's see what the best warriors are. What to choose? Looks like this may be the one to choose. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, our army here is going to have to cross this river. But we have made battle and an arranged marriage. I will accept that. Which means we now have a free slot for Spy Master. But it happens. And going to move this Danish fleet on over to Ireland to prepare for when I will be able to move them into Wales. Oof, the rest of our troops are going to be wiped out here in Wales, though. Which is unfortunate, but a successful battle against the Saxons. So, now back up to Alfheimer. And actually, I'm going to try and hire some mercenaries. Some pretty cheap ones here. So, I will let them... Well, I will send them as well. And in fact, I'm going to leave this other army here in Central or Northern Europe. I'm just going to leave them in Altmark and let the mercenaries do the fighting in Sweden. But our Finnish holding has passed on to the next of their generation. And we're still trying to siege down the last town in Ireland. But the war is starting to go our way. Finally. Attacked a tiny little army in Skane, or Skun, and yeah, wiped them out. And now we are ready to send this Irish army into Wales. So, going to wipe out the enemy army first, and then siege back the land that they took from us. Wow, that was quick. Huge amounts of war score, and quite a bit of prestige, and a crushing victory for us. Retinues, they're hard to beat. Housecarls are brutally powerful, so they have a huge buff to their general stats from being Housecarls. But we've also chased the enemy down, and complete wipeout there. So now time to siege. We have some enemies that may be trying to attack us in Altmark. Yep. But hopefully, because they're crossing a river and don't really have much in the way of generals, we should be able to win this. And this traitorous vassal is, well, the vassal of a traitorous vassal is complaining about his accommodations in the dungeon, so I'm going to make them much worse. He deserves it. My, quite a bit of prestige and piety from this one. But yes, a successful battle, although our troops are starting to run a little low here. And wow, we have plenty of military tech points that I have been not spending. I'm going to spend some on military organization because our capital changed. All of these, well, they could have changed. All of the levels of technology have shifted to whatever they are here because our capital changed. But also going to upgrade heavy infantry and light infantry. So, kind of catching up to our old capital. And now we're just sieging on down. And the Irish have returned with some more troops. So we will have to finish this siege and then we will move over and fight there. Why are they... Oh. And they're at war with us because Dublin's trying to take some of that land. We just don't have enough troops to take care of everything at the moment. But we're holding out pretty well. And they will already accept white peace, so we should be able to force them to surrender soon. One siege down up here in Sweden. The mercenaries are very much making themselves worthwhile, or paying for the... They're paying for themselves, I should say. They're worth every penny. And we just lost a bit of Ireland. How annoying. To Scotland, no less. But sieging down these, or assaulting these small little holdings. And I need to get back on the boats and get back over to Ireland so I don't lose any more of it. But there we go. The the mercenaries have finished, so I'm going to send them to Altmark. And Zealand has taken a little bit of land, specifically just Holland. But hey, that gives it to us. It is now part of Denmark, so can't complain about that. Loading this army onto the boats to head back to Ireland. And we have attacked the enemy. Oof, war score. Still not quite enough to force a peace yet, but it will get there soon. And very successful battle, so back to England. I feel like we're just playing ping pong here. However, this battle might be... Yep, that is decisive enough. So, forcing a peace. Denmark is reunited, and we have put a large number of men into our prisons. So, going to... Oh, nope, wrong button. Disband all of these, including the mercenaries. Disband all the fleets. Save the money. And we unfortunately lost a little bit of Ireland from that. But we gained Holland during that time. And at least we are back to being one secure country. So, I'm going to have to stop there for today. So, thanks for watching, and check back soon for more Crusader Kings 2, The Old Gods.